God. That God there is referring to the Father. And I can prove that by verse number 18 in this passage. It says, no man hath seen God at any time. And then he says this, the only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. And I think it's clear this verse teaches that God, the God, who it's talking about here, God, that it's talking about God the Father. I think that's real clear. I think the Bible's real, clear about that. Many times, I've even heard people preach this and affirm, hey, yeah, when it says God there, when no man has seen God, it's saying that no man hath seen the Father. So when we read there in Genesis 1, or I'm sorry, in John chapter 1, it says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. We can't just interpret whoever we want with God, because the context tells us that who we believe that is. The context tells us here, later on in that passage, clearly, that who it's talking about is the Father. And if you look closely to what it says that the Word was with God, and it says this, and the Word was God. We can prove by other passages here very clearly that the Word is Jesus Christ, very clearly. It says verse 14, the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. I believe that's literal. God's Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father. And it says full of grace and truth there. So when it says the Word was with God, Jesus is the Word, and God there is talking about the Father. And it says, and the Word was God. You can also say that this way, and Jesus was the Father. That's what that's saying. I don't have this written down, but I'm going to read you too. This 1 John chapter number 1 is a parallel passage with this, and this just popped into my mind. 1 John chapter number 1 says, that which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, our hands have handled of the Word of life. And it says this, for the life was manifested, and we have seen it and bear witness, and shown you that eternal life. And then watch what it says, which was with the Father. So it says the Word of life, and then he says he shows you that eternal life, referring obviously back to the Word, and he says that the Word was with the Father. Just like here it says that God was the Word, and that the Word was with God, and we can clearly define that as God, that God was used there as the Father specifically. Now I want to look at another passage here. I'm going to get into what I believe the distinction is. I want to go to another passage, 1 Timothy chapter number 6, and I want to address something that we just read a moment ago, and this is extremely important. Verse number 18 said this, no man hath seen God at any time. The only begotten Son which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. That was John 1:18. And it said, no man hath seen God at any time. Speaking of the Father, clearly, saying that no man has seen the Father. Now, a proof that is used repeatedly